This event is all about you, the apprentices and students, the future of our industry, and I hope you'll enjoy this afternoon.
I might start off by borrowing an expression I heard out in Bali in Indonesia, where two young girls are trying to change the culture of Bali and remove it from having any plastic bags at all. And there are two 14-year-old girls taking on the president of Indonesia, taking on the corporate world, the industrial, the retail world. And at one stage in a talk they gave to a TED talk, they look at the camera and say, look, we may be young. We may only be 20% of the population, but we are 100% of the future.
During this last recession, we went from 90 people working for Burton to 175 during the recession. We took on a couple of big contracts, one for the MOD and one for the RNLI, and we were able to take them both on at the same time because we knew we had a pipeline of apprentices coming through, and it was almost as if we were getting the contract to satisfy the fact that we had work coming up, and that worked fantastically well.
Ryan and I are two of 14 apprentices at Oyster Roxham. We are part of a large team of nearly 150 working across a number of trades: boat builders, bench joiners, composite technicians, electricians, engineers and deck fit-outs. Although I'm sorry to say we don't have anyone who's actually called a shipwright.
There's no discards in this series, so to get a 2-2-1 and lead at the halfway stage was really positive for the team. The event we've targeted for the last 2 years really.
Well, you were the tactician on board the boat. That was pretty close, wasn't it?
Yeah, really close. I think, the whole regatta was super close, and you saw that, I think, from the video.
And what led you to engineering?
I just had a real love for maths and physics, to be honest, and binary subjects, the right and wrong. And for me, I came to visit Southampton and it was the perfect fit. It was sailing, maths and physics, and it was easy.
So what's been your role at the academy then, having got in, what's been your role?
So for the first 2 years, I started off doing main sheet tactician on GC32, and obviously it was my aim to go to Bermuda as wing trimmer, but then also in the team, there's a lot of sailors that are part of our academy, and the best sailors go and race on the boat in Bermuda.
Our generation has a responsibility to reverse the negative impact we've been having on our environment. The goal at Land Rover BAR is to win the America's Cup, the world's oldest international sporting trophy, something that dates back to 1851. But alongside that, we also want to create a team that is both innovative and sustainable.
We started out in 1987 racing what was an international class, but then we've developed into purpose-designed classes of boat, and that culminated in the AC50 that was raced in Bermuda.
Ben was controlling the foils for the most part of the campaign by pressing these buttons to rake forward, rake backwards, and control the fly height of the boat. But that was limiting him. So we worked both on the front end of things. One of the last innovations we did in the Cup was this twist grip you can see at the top. So Ben switched from using these, which are on off, to this, which is a continuous control, so he can adjust much more fine. Imagine trying to steer a car using a left button and a right button versus using a steering wheel. This is much more intuitive for him.
But several of the teams, including ourselves in the last Cup, built simulators so that sailors could sail the boat in real time, but without the expense, without the complexity of going on the water.
How hard was it keeping these things? You talked about maintenance earlier on. How hard was it keeping the show on the road?
Incredibly hard. I think we all massively underestimated just how hard it was to keep these boats on the water. And it wasn't just the routine maintenance. We had to up our games in the way we were inspecting the boats and looking for unseen damage before it grew and became a problem. So we were having to do a lot of NDT, like non-destructive testing. So we had to train some of our shore crew in using ultrasonics so they could scan the boards each night. We had to have a guy, an expert, full time on the boat, on the shore in Bermuda. So every time the boat came ashore, the whole boat would have to be inspected.
Prince Harry called me on the Monday morning and said, I've just seen this film that the Americans have made. They're going to release it on social media with President and Mr. Obama laying down a challenge for the British team. What do you think we should do about it? I said, well, it's pretty difficult to top the leader of the free world. I'm not sure what we can do to do that. And he said, well, I thought about asking Grandma.
Message? Oh, from Michelle. How very amusing. So you like to watch it together?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Hey, Prince Harry, remember when you told us to bring it at the Invictus Games?
Careful what you wish for. Boom.
Oh, really? Please.
Boom.
Today, I'm lucky enough to be able to present the prize to this year's winner, Miss Charlotte Dodge. Well done. Charlotte began her master's year studying ship science in September, specialising in naval architecture. So congratulations. I don't know how you found time to do this. So first of all, your certificate. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much.
And of course, the important thing, the money.
Thank you.
So there we go. Well done.